I'm here with apologist and my friend Sean McDowell. Now, Sean, there is some statistics coming out that Christianity's decline in America might actually not only be stopping, but actually maybe kind of starting to peak. Why do you think that might be?
Well, I think there's two things going on. We've seen the stats recently that since 2019, those who describe themselves as nuns has flatlined. But just last week, I think it was in the New York Times, there's an article that said, based on research by Ryan Burge, saying that as there's generational replacement, meaning as older generations die and younger generations that are more secular as a whole, millennials and Gen Zers, we're gonna see a secularization continue to increase. But with that said, I do think we're seeing the conversation about God shift, a renewed openness. People like Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, conversions like Ayaan Hirsi Ali, people like Jonathan Rauch, a gay atheist Jew, literally saying America needs Jesus. And we're seeing an interest, some of the interest in psychedelics and UFOs, I think is a spiritual yearning. So there's an increased secularism, but I also think there's an increased awareness of the death of secularism and a yearning for something more.
Now you're kind of like the face of apologetics. Is that pressure? Because if you look at Christian apologetics on Google, it's like boom, Sean McDowell. That's a pretty big mantle to hold.
I honestly don't know if I'm the face of apologetics. I seriously just think about myself as part of a team. With that said, my dad was the face of apologetics for half a century. So my whole life, I've seen the weight of doing what he does. So the glamour of being on stage, like I see the cost and the sacrifice for that. So it's not about that for me. That's not gonna make you happy. But I've had that pressure since the moment I decided to do apologetics. They're like, you're Josh's kid. So to me, it just comes with the package. But honestly, Raj, my goal is just to be faithful.
Come on.
That's all that matters. I asked Os Guinness, who's one of my favorite Christian thinkers. I said, Os, he's in his 70s, maybe 80s, written a ton of books. I said, what do you think your legacy will be? And I'll never forget what he said. He said, Sean, legacy is a secular idea. All that matters is God says, well done, my good and faithful servant.
Amen.
That's all I care about. And that takes the pressure away from all the other stuff people emphasize.
So my friend here who clicked on this video, when they type in apologetics on YouTube, they have these burning questions. And I think what I love about Sean is, one, he's an amazing guy. I could totally vouch for him. He's been with me my past 3 career stops, so I've known you for a while.
That's right.
But I think a transparent question is, you ever had those moments when you're just at home and you're like, is this real? Am I bugging? Am I the only one that's having a hard time with this? Do you have those moments where you're kind of, gosh, I really hope this is real. I don't know if I feel it right now. What do you do in those situations?
I actually have those moments somewhat frequently. Not in the sense that I have a moment like, oh my goodness, I'm wrong. But sometimes I go, am I crazy? Why do I believe this? What is the evidence? Have I considered that argument? And I'll tell you, Raj, I have a good friend of mine who's here at the event we're at, and he's a pastor with the gift of faith. He lost his job years ago, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, God's gonna provide. I'm like, how do you know? Maybe he wants you to suffer. He's like, Sean, God has this. And I remember thinking, why don't I have faith like that? And it hit me one day, I'm like, you know what? He doesn't write 350-page academic books on the death of the apostles. He doesn't co-write 700-page books called Evidence Demands a Verdict. It's those questions and doubts that drive me. And they get me up in the morning. And so I think God can use people who just have certainty and never have doubts, but I think he can use those of us with doubt. And the last thing I'll say on this, doubt is not the opposite of belief. Unbelief is.
That's good.
You can believe something and have questions or doubts about it. That's why Jude 22 says, have mercy on those who doubt.
That's so good. And this is a very real, raw, transparent conversation. You can hear Legoland in the background that way, Palomar Airport above us, and the Bless God Summit hosted by our buddy Ruslan. Sean McDowell, thank you so much, my friend.
Always enjoy it.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
This guy.